today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to apply foundation. This is definitely a beginner's video, so if you're sort of just starting out with makeup and you want to know how to really apply foundation flawlessly, then you're at the right video because I'm going to show you different tools you can use to apply your foundation and what you should make sure to do before your foundation and just all that jazz. So we're actually going to go ahead and get started. The absolute most important thing is to make sure that you moisturize. The moisturizer that I use is this simple hydrating light moisturizer, and this is great for oily skin types because it gives you such a light moisturization, and to me, I feel like it's really helped control my oil. Ever since I started using this, I've been so much less oily. It's been crazy. I don't even know if that's a proper English. So much less oily. If you have dry skin, make sure you use a really rich moisturizer because you don't want the foundation to sort of sink into those dry patches. For really dry skin, I suggest using coconut oil before bed, but of course before you apply your makeup you wouldn't want to use an oil, so I suggest using Pond's moisturizer. I'll link it down below. Or Simple also has a version that's a rich moisturizer. I actually already moisturized, so that's out of the way. The next thing is primers. So this is totally personal preference. A lot of people feel like primers are a gimmick and that they don't really matter. Personally, to me, I'm kind of half and half on primers. It depends where I'm going and what I'm doing. For today, I'm going to use a primer just to show you guys the full effect of doing your foundation. Also, if you have really big pores, you might want to use a primer that's going to minimize your pores. For that, I would recommend Benefit's Porefessional, or you could try the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, which is a pretty good drugstore alternative to the Benefit's Porefessional, which can be expensive. I have two drugstore ones that I love, and this is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer and then the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Different primers do different things, but that's a whole other video. So for today's video, I'm going to be using my Hard Candy Sheer Envy Primer. So you're just going to want to shake that up first because sometimes a lot of primers can get really liquidy and like the product can separate, if you know what I mean. So you're just going to want to apply a small amount. Okay, so I'm just going to pin my hair back. Okay, so make sure you have your hair out of your face completely when doing your foundation because you can get it in your hair sometimes, and that is never fun. For today's foundation, I'm going to be using the Revlon Color Stay just because I really like this one actually. It's a really great full coverage foundation. I wouldn't say it's completely full coverage, I would say it's medium to full, but definitely more on the full side. Choosing your foundation is, again, a whole other video, so if you guys want me to do a video on how to choose the right foundation for you, I could totally do that and sort of go through the ins and outs of foundation. But like I said, that's a whole other video. So just take your foundation and make sure you shake it up, again, because the product might separate. After you have your foundation, you're going to want to choose what you want to put it on with. Typical way of applying foundation is just with a classic foundation brush. It just looks like this, and usually you just take it and like slap the product on and kind of do motions like that. However, that's not my preferred preference. I find that it kind of leaves a little bit of streakiness, so I don't really like that. This is from Walmart and it's the foundation brush from Spa Resource. Now the next thing is using a beauty blender, and this is a beauty blender dupe. This is not the actual beauty blender, but a lot of people love the beauty blender, so if you're willing to spend like $25–30 on a sponge, then I definitely say go ahead and check it out. Or you could get a dupe and it would work as well. I prefer to use my all-time favorite, like literally holy grail foundation brush, Stigma Flat Top Kabuki F80. Now I absolutely love this just because it's so dense, so you're really going to get full coverage airbrushed fit. So getting started, the way I like to sort of put my foundation on my face is after you shake it up, I like to put some on my finger and then put it on my face. A lot of people like to sort of put it on the back of their hand or whatever, but I find that if I put it on the back of my hand, I waste more product because it's more of a canvas for the product to kind of sink into, whereas my fingers, it's more of a smaller area and I'm going to get a little bit more product. So when it comes to how much you apply on your face, that again depends on the foundation and it depends how much coverage you want. If you have a light foundation, a light coverage foundation, you might want to put a little bit more on your face just to get a little bit more of a heavier coverage. This foundation, it's heavy, it's full coverage, but I'm still going to put quite a bit on just because I enjoy full coverage. So yeah, you're just going to put that on, and taking your brush, whichever one you choose, going to go ahead and take the product and stipple it in, like sort of bounce it on your face. Now, one thing you're going to want to make sure to do is start at your jawline and make sure you get this sideburn area right here, because a lot of people tend to forget that area, which is never good because you're going to totally see that foundation line. Make sure to get underneath your chin as well. So again, taking it and starting out at that jawline, bring it up to your sideburns. A lot of people don't do this, but I like to do this. I like to go over my eyelids just because I hate the when redness or the veins show from your eyelids. I think it just looks totally ridiculous. Especially if you're not going to be wearing eyeshadow that day. You don't want to have like a different color eyelid from your face. Okay, now with the leftover product that's left over on the brush, you're going to want to go ahead and run it down your neck to make sure that everything looks really seamless and blended. So starting at that jawline, rubbing it underneath your chin, and you can even just take a slightest bit of product, like literally just the slightest bit of product, and run it down your neck. I'm going to go ahead and do the other steps of sort of completing your face. So that includes concealer and some powder. Show you how to kind of finish that foundation face, because to me that's a foundation routine. Choose your concealer. For you guys today, I chose to use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. As you can see, I absolutely love this. Like, it's totally empty. I just have like the tiniest bit left. But I'm going to use it up because I absolutely love this, and I think it's $10.99, so it's super affordable. So for concealer, what you're going to want to do is apply it right underneath the eye, starting in the inner corner, and apply it underneath the eye. That's the most important area you want to make sure you cover, because you want to make sure you're covering those dark circles. But also, you can make sure you go downwards and sort of make it into like a triangular shape like this. This is going to ensure that you're going to get sort of a little bit of a brightness under this area, and it's sort of going to help highlight your cheekbones at the same time. You can either take that same foundation brush and use it to blend it out, or you can use a beauty blender, or you could use a concealer brush, which I don't even use, so I don't even own. I just don't really like concealer brushes. So you can use a damp beauty blender or beauty blender dupe, or you can use your finger. So you're just going to go ahead, start in that inner corner, and again, just bounce it. You don't want to rub or what's that word I'm looking for? Scrape. You don't want to rub or scrape it against your face, because that's going to just rub all the product right off and move it around too much, and you don't want to move the product around too much, or else it's going to kind of defeat the purpose of the placement where you put it. So again, just bounce it, and it's blended. And that's why I love using this, because it's so super easy. And I got this from Winners for $6.99, by the way. It works really, really, really good. So it's a super good dupe for the Beauty Blender. So again, same to the other eye. And you're going to want to make sure that you get the inner corner, like this inner corner over here, because that can usually be the area that's the darkest. So make sure you also get that. So the next step is powdering. So for powder, I have two different choices today that I absolutely love. One drugstore and one high-end. So for a drugstore, I have the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. This is my freaking holy grail. Like, literally, it's so amazing, guys. For I think it's $5.99. So for $6, I can't even tell you how much I love it. It makes your face so matte, and it's just amazing. So this is how the product looks. It gives you a pretty decent amount of product. This is in the color Transparent, so it's just going to give you no color at all. It's just going to sort of help the finish and the staying power of your foundation. Or you can choose one that is in a color. I do have one that's a color, but I totally hit pan on it, so I need to kind of get a new one. Or you can use the MAC Studio Fix Pressed Powder Foundation. And this is in the color NW22, and I absolutely love this as well. It's going to help give you a really natural finish. So it's not going to matte out your face completely like this one would. It's going to help give you a little bit extra coverage. So to apply your powder, there's of course one brush you can use, and that's a powder brush. But however, there's different types of powder brushes. I have here my Sigma Large Powder F20 brush, which I absolutely love. I love this for application of powder where I kind of want to just get a light coverage. So like if I just want to brush the powder over and I don't necessarily want any more coverage, I just want a light brushing, or if I'm using it for a pressed for a finishing powder, then I love this because it's not too dense. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a fluffy light coverage. But if you do want some more coverage, then you're going to want to use a smaller, denser brush. And this is going to help really pack all the product on to help you get a better coverage. I'm going to take my Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. And you're just going to take that and sort of brush it in large circular motions. You're going to want to make sure that you get under your neck as well. Also guys, just a quick side note that I should have said in the beginning, just remember when you're moisturizing, please moisturize on your neck as well. Don't kind of neglect that area, because when you're applying makeup, you always go on your neck as well. So you're gonna want to make sure that that area is moisturized as well. That is the end of the video, guys. I really hope that this helped. A couple of you were suggesting that I sort of do a video like this. I think one person in particular was saying like to do it for beginners, which I absolutely love, because I think a lot of you out there sort of kind of experimenting with makeup and just want to sort of up your game. So I really hope that this video made it easy for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup because I'm actually going to film a Valentine's Day look tutorial for you guys right after this. So please stay in tune for that. And if you liked this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and like it down below. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.